Why should I worry? Tell me, why should I care? It's just a new population. I got street sidewalks. Oh, the rhythm of the city, Oh, once you get it down, you can own this town. You can wear the crown. Why should I worry? Tell me, why should I care? Hello, Fatman in Paradise, come to you once again from Paradise. Again, hashtag open to whining, and yeah, I'm back here once more. It was just the day before, and now it's just getting frustrating again. I decided I'm gonna show you around what I've been doing here with my little setup. My first is, I got a little tripod here, finally got it all set up. I combined my professional one that I use for my miniature photo booth, and a selfie stick. Got it finally tall enough. And I got my American flag, which I took forever to actually find inside of Walmart, because apparently they don't actually sell them in the same place with all the other flags. Yeah, the Walmart I went to had, before the 4th of July, had a bunch of different flags from all the different military services. And it was, really honest, awesome. I really appreciate it. God bless you Walmart for doing that. But one little thing that I found rather strange, among them was not the American flag. The American flag had its own little spot, own little special spot, in the toy section. That sounds, I don't know whether to be insulted or complimented with that. But yeah, that's my American flag. Put it all together right there. And right up here, right down here, is my side. Hashtag every life matters. Hashtag every job matters. Every single one, let freedom ring. I want everyone to see that, because this is getting really sick and tired of it having to deal with this. The people out here protesting, well, that were protesting, and I'm still here by myself now, so joy. We all had one thing, we wanted to go back to work. They got to. I didn't. Hence the reason why I'm still here. So yeah, that's horribly frustrating. Thank you, Iggy. You're annoying as smeg. Quite literally. You're like a bad cheese that just won't go away. Alright, right, I wanted to continue the list I was doing before. Come on, turn on. There we go. There we go. Alright. Howdy, Judy. Howdy. Alright, Alright, this is getting a little silly. I'm gonna continue my original thing from last time, from Friday's video, about the 100 reasons not to vote for Donald Trump debunked. Number 37. I think I went through this one, but I'm just going to do it for, redo it for charity's sake, especially for those who can't understand. When you're doing public life or any type of public thing, public expression, when you're out there out on the stage for one reason or another, and you have a certain mindset. And suddenly Trump was accosted on April 5th, 2018 about a hush money incident with Stormy Daniels. Honestly, I've been asked certain things about my past that I know quite intimately, and I literally could not remember for a good 5 minutes personally, because I was like, it was completely different trains of thought. It was completely and utterly disrailed. So, go figure, right? Little sympathy with Trump there. He's also in his 70s, and he's still freaking going. Guy has more energy than I do, and I got medicine that keeps me going. Going to number 38, April 6, 2018, instituted a zero-tolerance policy at the border requiring the forced separation of families. It was rescinded weeks later after more than 2,300 children had been separated. That's not 100%. No, what he did was he instructed all the officers to follow original guidelines, which were instituted by Barack Hussein Obama. So yeah, you want to yell at Trump? Yell that. Same with all those pictures of the kids in cages. All those pictures were taken during the Obama administration. there have been no pictures taken on the inside of those detention centers during the Trump presidency. So there is actually no proof for it. For any client, as the old saying goes, all the atheists, God bless you guys. And I know it sounds kind of ironic for someone like me to say God bless you, but God bless you came up with a wonderful saying. That which is asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. So I shall dismiss your assertion that Donald Trump did this without evidence, because you have none. 39. Overruled objections from national security officials to give his son-in-law Jared Kushner a security clearance. Yes, there was a political... This one's actually valid. This one's actually relatively valid, which is kind of like frustrating for me, because some of these actually are valid. He did honestly have Jared Kushner go against his security advisors. Also, those security advisors also said that Russia was more of a threat than China in the way they were doing things. I'm sorry, Russia is currently not having concentration camps for a certain racial minority. Russia is currently having a actually rather good economy and has freedoms that are nowhere on par with America's, that Americans are supposed to enjoy. But sadly, but no, good Lord, you guys seriously are just being deceptive as possible with a little bit of information. Also, most of those advisors have been fired. Number 40, 2018, May, accepted a memo from President Erdogan from Turkey, who claimed innocence for a Turkish firm under investigation by the Southern District of New York. According to John Bolton's 2020 memoir of his time as Trump's national security advisor, told Erdogan he would take care of things, explaining that the Southern District prosecutors were not his people, but were Obama people, a problem that would be fixed when they were replaced by his people. On June 2020, he did fire the U.S. Attorney of the SDNY, Jeffrey Berman, who not only had indicted a Turkish-owned firm, but had reportedly opened inquiry into Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani. Okay. That is a vacuous statement. It's deceptive because it is vacuous. Selective editing, as they would like to say about, the left want to say about Project Veritas. The thing is, Project Veritas releases their information in whole, so gotta figure, right? So, the thing is, a good portion of those people were ordered, going back to the thing about Trump, how he said that those individuals were Obama appointees. That was true at the time, and it has become to light through recent investigations that originally started as a what's the word I'm looking for? Inquiry into past involvement of that was run by most new presidencies or presidencies, the previous presidencies, done by different individuals to investigate do a simple investigation to see if there was any misconduct. Obama did it to W did it to Clinton did it to Bush Sr., down the line up until, because ever since of Reagan, honestly, Watergate, all because of that. So yeah, that investigation was open, and now there's an entire thing called #Obamagate. I encourage everyone to go look that up. Boy, in fact, I think I might add that to my thing. Yeah, #Obamagate. There we go. So, yeah, it became very well known that Obama was deliberately set up things after the 2016 election. Well, it seems, correction, put myself back in the proper context and proper wording. The evidence suggests that Obama's administration, including Joe Biden and Barack Obama himself, set up situations and scenarios that would actually cause the Trump presidency administration many problems, including things that could honestly be considered almost sabotage. Point in fact, my favorite one and the most popular one is the instance of General Flynn. Yes, General Flynn did plead guilty. Was he guilty? No. Simply because you can't be guilty of something you did not do. He didn't lie knowingly, because a lie institutes knowing to pass along false information. And you can actually do it. That's actually part of the law. It's intent. Go figure, right? But was General Flynn coerced into signing his confession? Yes, he was, at least according to General Flint and his lawyer. So yeah, it's really, really messed up. Howdy doody, woohoo, go America, baby. So yeah, right, that number 40 ain't no clear. There's nothing clear there. It doesn't look like there's any good guys in that situation. Number 41, June 2018, the president makes a habit of questioning the intelligence and mental stability of his black critics. He questions the mental stability and intelligence of everyone. Anyone who disagrees with him, he questions that. Seriously. He does it to his own family members. Good Lord. You think you're special? You think he's gonna, after treating him like crap, you think he's actually going to insult him, label him as racist and misogynist, and all these wonderful ad hominem that are deeply troubling to someone who has actually any type of moral fiber, and then, I don't know if he does or not, honestly, I can't say that because I'd have to know him personally to make sure about that, but you insulted him, and that's plain to see. And then you actually get mad that he insults you back? Well, you know what? Don't start nothing, no, don't get nothing, honey. Back off. Don't like it, get off your, if you want to keep talking about it, get off your high horse, no one cares. Number 42, July 12, 2018, threatened that the United States might go our own way, interpreted as a signal that he would want to pull out of the NATO, throwing the summit with world leaders into turmoil ahead of. I actually like that. I like this one. This one I really. He had repeatedly called NATO obsolete during the 2016 campaign, then not so obsolete once he was in office, because he considered the idea behind it acceptable once he understood all the inner workings of it, if it actually worked the way it was written. But just like the laws here in the United States, what's written, nah, this is how the old saying goes. There are 5 sides to every situation. The extremes, the pros and against, what really freaking happens. And right now, what really freaking happens actually tends to be to the extremes on some cases. With NATO, they weren't paying their fair share. Point fact, do you know how much the total budget of NATO, the United States, was paying? Just their percentage, the percentage of NATO's budget. Roughly around 80. That's just ridiculous. Now, yes, the United States usually has a huge surplus of it, but that's beside the point. It's still not supposed to be 80. It's supposed to be more around 40. But no, because the other countries would not pay. America ends up subsidizing more and more into NATO. So yeah, why would I pay for a service that's not getting the? Why would I pay for a subscription that I'm not getting the services that I wanted? Seriously, I'm asking that question. Why would I? Okay, you've got a Netflix account. Now you can't watch any movies. Even though you have the internet, you can't watch any movies. Are you going to continue paying for the Netflix? No. Why? It's so horrible. Other people get to watch it instead of you, and you're not paying the full price. You're only paying 80% of it. You're a horrible person because you're not paying it. But, oh, no, that's different. How so? One's nationalized and affects millions of people? Exactly. That's the reason why, even more so in my book, it should be canceled until the budget is balanced. Because it's fiscally irresponsible. How do I know? Because I'm fiscally irresponsible. I'm a freaking clown, people. Lately. Going on, 43, July 13, 2018. Lifted a ban preventing the Chinese telecommunications ZTE from doing business with the U.S. company. ZTE was widely considered to be a threat to U.S. national security. Without Trump's intervention, it likely would have gone bankrupt. Well, at the time, he was trying to line things up with China. And it was one of the mega mistakes that I think he did. Yep, again, valid. Congratulations, you have a point. But that's because of a differentiation point from my point of view to your point of view on the leftist. You seriously don't get it. China's wrong. I'm against China because they're horrible human rights violating. There was a video that was recently found on Twitter. Go look it up. Go look up shaved head Uyghur Muslims, or just shaved head Muslims. And you can find it on a bunch of different videos. It was featured on a Temple IRL podcast, and it was also done as an episode during one of his regular episodes on the Temple channel, YouTube. I do not have the link right this second. I might add it later. But good Lord. Tim, keep it up, my good man. Keep it up. Nameless warrior as well. Nameless warrior. You are a good man, or honestly, or woman. God bless you. May you forever walk in the light of the Lord. May your burden ever feel light on your shoulders. But yeah, ZT would have gone bankrupt. Okay. It's mostly a nothing burger right there because, yay or nay, I'm against China's government, but not so much about the individual citizens of China. I honestly wish all of them were the best, but that includes the Uyghurs, actually. So yeah, no. That's a little thing that most people, the reason why I'm really mad about the whole thing about the Uyghurs. I'm going to pause here and actually explain it. This is a rumor. I cannot confirm it nor deny it, but there is a thing in Islam most people do not understand. If a Islamic man or woman needs a organ transplant, the problem is the organ has to come from another Muslim. And if I remember right, it has to be a Muslim born, not a Muslim converted. Yes. It was confirmed a while back that the Uyghurs were not only having their hair farmed for wigs and hair extensions, but also that certain of the members of them were being killed and their organs being harvested. Actually, no, their organs were being harvested and they probably died from the after effects. Because that's a really nasty way to go. Why waste a bullet? Communists tend to try to be as cost-effective as possible. Not efficient, cost-effective. There's the difference. So yeah, that's what probably happened. It's a theory. I don't have evidence. I firmly confirm. To believe that. We'll back down out of that if I can find a counter-prevailing information that will go against my suspicion. But my suspicion has two pieces of evidence for it. Number one, there are a number of rich Muslims over in the Middle East who are getting organ transplants. There are also the groups of Muslims in the Uyghur population whose organs are being harvested. 1 and 1 may not equal 2 in this situation, but it might equal 3. That's my favorite riddle, actually. Little riddle here. I'll answer this at the end. In what situation, time, place, anything, anywhere in known universe, known society, where 1 plus 1 equals 3 or more? I'll get back to that one later on. Alright, number 44, July 16, 2018, sided with Russian President Vladimir Putin in rejecting the findings of the U.S. intelligence community about Russia's interference in the 2016 election during a joint news conference with Putin in Helsinki, Finland. Okay, here's the issue. Both of them happen to say the same thing. There's a difference between agreement and having the same opinion. A problem because Trump was saying the same thing before that. It was Putin who said that, who agreed with him. That's a context situation. So the statement is vacuous. Again, that's a lie by admission. It's a lie because it's a lie based on the fact that that fact is admitted. Not by omission, because obfuscation I don't particularly mind when you don't actually say a lie, but let people assume it. People are stupid if they don't pay attention. Alright, number 45. Use Twitter to issue all caps threat to Iran.
Oh no! He was mean on the internet. Oh no! What am I will do?
Do you not understand it?
I don't care. You understand?
It doesn't make a little lick ounce of sense. You have no standing upon what you're trying to say. So get off your high horse, you smaggot. Oh no, it was all caps. Don't care. Also, Iran. Don't like them. What am I gonna say? He was mean on the internet to another country. Darn. August 2018. Revoked former CIA Director John Brenham's security clearance in retaliation for his criticism of the... That was not retaliation. He was... There were over 30 different, separate complaints from over 15 different agents in the CIA about Brenham's behavior. The criticism was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what happened. So, debunked. 47. Denied that 3,000 Puerto Ricans died in a Hurricane Maria. Blame Democrats for manipulating numbers and make them look bad. Oh, good Lord, that one. Okay. Again, lie based on not including all the information. The people died from starvation because the governor or leader of Puerto Rico did not distribute the supplies the United States supplied. They rotted inside of a warehouse and was found 6 months later. Do you understand that? Do you get that? Do you understand? You have a brain inside your skull. That means it wasn't Trump's fault. They died from malnutrition. They died from... Sorry about that. Got some wind. Sorry, I had to adjust the tripod for weight distribution. Alright. They died from infections, malnutrition, the combination of... The combination of both the fact that they were, a number of them got sick from infections from the hurricane and could not, at the time, fight off the illnesses because they did not have enough food and medicine. So that's a combination system category that actually does fit in number 3. Number 4, the governor lied. So, who's at fault? Trump or the governor? Honestly, Trump cannot middle manage absolutely everything. It is against the law. The president is not allowed. What rights are not specifically reserved inside the Constitution are guaranteed to the states. What's written in the Constitution, many Democrats do not like the fact of that statement and have done their best over the years to try to change it. Guess what? It's still the freaking law. So, the fact that Puerto Rico, a protectorate, not a state, which, by the way, I disagree with. I would love to make it a state. Seriously, let's vote on it, people. Let's do it right now. This year. Honestly, if that was the only issue that Trump was going for right now, saying that he was going to put forward a vote for Puerto Rico to become a state, I would support him just on that. Because those people are being disenfranchised, ignored, and hated by the rest of the world, ignored by this country. And it's messed up. It ain't right. So, Puerto Rico. Starvation's blamed on Trump. Yes, the buck does end at the presidency. Always has, always will. But first, let's blame everyone else in chain of command up until that point. Because usually, I have yet to see a situation where the answer is ever simple. So, he denied that it was. He denied that they died from the hurricane directly. They died from the after effects, the collapsing buildings, all that. But that could have been mitigated by the governor of Puerto Rico actually putting out the supplies. So, that's a good TLDR. Okay, TLDL. 48, September 25th, 2018, claimed the UN General Assembly that his administration had accomplished more in 2 years than almost any administration of our history. A boast that immediately elicited laughter of world leaders. Okay. I question. Prove him wrong. He brought forward his facts. An economy that was ridiculously good. I mean, oh my good lord, it was ridiculous. I knew more people who were finally able to afford houses. Sorry. Were finally able to afford housing for themselves privately for the first time in history to last year. It was messed up. Howdy, I'm doing a live stream right this second. You want to come in and talk about it? I'm doing a live debunking of 100 reasons not to vote for Trump. I'm pro-Trump right this second because I think he's doing a much better job than anyone else. Yes, he's a clown, but obviously I'm kind of partial to clowns. You know, clown lives matter.
I agree with you. I agree with everything you just said.
God bless you, man.
I agree with
you want to come see it on the internet? Right
I
here?
agree with every single word you just said.
No problem. Camera's on this side.
I agree with every single word you just said.
Oh, God bless you, sir. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.
You too.
So also, remember, don't forget to vote, sir. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's turn Hawaii red for the first, since, Prince Kohio, okay? That would be nice, huh? Yeah, that's one other little factoid most people don't remember. When Prince Kohio was alive, Hawaii regularly went Republican. Back then it wasn't always red and blue. Back then it actually flipped the colors during the elections every 8 years. Why? Because one color never was permanently associated with the other to make sure people never was. It was always to remind people that we were all part of one country. That stopped with Clinton. He refused. All right. Going back to the list. All right. So yeah, he brought forward his evidence, so dismantle his evidence. I have yet to hear anyone actually do so. Let's get on number 49. September 29, 2018, talked affectionately of his relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. We fell in love, okay? You know what? I honestly don't care if he actually made out with Kim Jong-un. If that little individual would stop shooting missiles towards Hawaii, okay? I really don't want to die of nuclear exposure. It sounds rather painful, uncomfortable, and gets in the way of me doing my job. I rather like being a clown. Good Lord, can't people understand that some of us just don't care about how people are, don't care if it looks like the proverbial mule getting the job done. Because a number of us are performers, like myself. As I've said before, just to get a laugh, I have pantsed myself on stage. And I saw my hairy butt. And yes, it was quite hairy. You could even say it was a hairy situation. Yes, I will pay for that one. Many, many times over. Kind of weird because my last girlfriend was a furry. It doesn't stop at the neckline. Let's get going. Number 50. Oh, we're halfway through now. Just days after Trump's fanatic Caesar Siakal was arrested for Caesar Siakal was sending pipe bombs to CNN offices and prominent Trump critics. Trump tweeted, "The fake news media and the true enemy of the people." Okay, Caesar Siakal. That guy was mentally ill. I'm quite serious to saying he literally was psychotic, schizophrenic. I literally followed the story after the news stopped reporting it. He literally has schizophrenia and has had it for years. He thinks that Donald Trump has been his personal friend for years and has been sending him secret messages through the TV. Or some such nonsense. I'm sorry, but no credibility now. Debunked. Number 51, November 7, 2019, fired Attorney General Jeff Sessions, the president's chief grudge against Sessions. The fact that Sessions recused himself from investigation of Russian interference in 2016. Sessions was legally applied to do so as participant of Trump's campaign. Not really. Not really. The issue is that Sessions said he would not, and then did so. When Trump asked him, when he was considered for the position, asked him if he would please make sure the stupid thing would not get out of hand, like it did so for 3 years, where they found no evidence. I'm sorry, they literally went over his life with a fine-tooth comb, literally picked through his crap, and I am not joking. Those reports are able to be found on the internet. They literally went through his feces. Donald Trump's feces to find out if he was on any type of drugs or that they're trying to put up in the investigation. And you know what they found? You know what they found? It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was a great big pile of nothing. 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 You get it? You people are pathetic. Alright, so Sessions, he fired Sessions because he wouldn't do his job. Oh, boo-hoo. I'd fire anyone who wouldn't do their job either. I would try to find a compromise first, but Sessions wouldn't. So yeah, that's life. Go figure. Don't do your job, don't get paid, get fired. I wonder why that's so surprising to people. Oh, right, because they're Democrats. Yes, Democrats. Little Dem. Howdy doody, Rick Titty. How's it, man? Don't forget the vote, man. All right, 52. Oh, this one's pathetic.
The New York Times reported that the Trump organization employed undocumented immigrants, workers at his New Jersey golf course.
Evidence. It does not exist. Or essay, I think, got it wrong. So again, number 53, December 12, 2018, Trump, former lawyer and quote-unquote fixer, Michael Cohen, is sentenced to 3 years in prison. Yeah, so Cohen's was stupid. Y'all? Again, don't see the problem here. Yeah, why is that a reason? That's Cohen, not Trump. Cohen, not Trump. Yes, Trump trusted a lot of people that honestly got weeded out quite efficiently. You know, the free market, not doing the job, screwing up, getting fired, screwing up, and getting fired again. And finally, you have a team that works. It's called the survival of the fittest. You know, evolution. Number 54, December 19th, 2018, ordered the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria, abandoning America's Kurdish allies, which led to the resignation of Defense Secretary Jim Mattis. I agree with Trump here. Give me one good reason why we should be there. If we're not going to make those countries protectorates, settle them as colonies, or make them states, why are we there? I'm waiting. Hey, Ricketts. Actually, no, the Katie did it. Alright. So, put it simply, I want the troops to come back home. We've been fighting wars. Here's a little factoid most people don't really realize. There are soldiers over there, over in the Middle East, over in Afghanistan, Ukraine, different parts of the Middle East, all the way up to Russia, all the way down to India, who have been fighting insurgents and terrorists that started in 2001 as a war on terrorism, and these people were born after it. They have never known the United States without war. That is a tragedy. Explain to me why I want to have these people still over there and not let them experience a life of peace. Alright? Howdy doody! Jim Mattis? He was a neocon. Don't care. Go fight. Oh, you want to go fight a war across on the other side of the country? Go buy your own guns and go that over there. Go for it. Seriously, I encourage you. If you think it's a worthwhile crusade, go for it. I don't. Now, if they were asking us, like they were originally when Trump was elected, yeah, that's something that most people don't understand. There was a journalist over in the Middle East who was over there during the 2016 election, and like most Americans, did not honestly believe that Trump was going to get elected. And he was walking down through a town, desert town. It was wonderful, little town, but it was a shanty town because these people had been displaced thousands and thousands of times. One moment. And none of them have known a life that did not involve deadly violence in 5 generations. And they heard Donald Trump saying that he wanted to get out of there. He wanted to stop them. He wanted to blow Al-Qaeda, the theological ways of eternal punishment, take ISIS and burn them, and take the fight to where they were at, smash them under the heel of patriotism of the United States, and get the job done. And you know what these people over there in the Middle East did? When they heard that their homes, their traditional homes of centuries were going to be liberated from these terrorists, they danced in the streets. They sang, they danced, they celebrated Donald Trump's election. Why? They wanted to go home. Understandable. So yeah, they want things to get done. And Hillary Clinton herself said that she wanted to have a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Howdy doody. And it was well known, if you put a no-fly zone over Ukraine, which is a Russian ally, would have caused a major conflict that very likely would have led to World War III, an open conflict between 2 superpowers, the United States and Russia. And that would have only ended in the most worst way possible. In a mad, mad world. So yeah, God bless Donald Trump. Number 55, December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019, caused the longest government shutdown in American history because he could not persuade Congress to fund the border wall he wanted to build. It was his major campaign promise. Here's one thing I love to point out. Name one president in history besides Teddy Roosevelt and those before him that actually followed through on their campaign promises. Find one. None of the presidents in modern history, minus Teddy Roosevelt, ever did so. Teddy Roosevelt, was just Teddy Roosevelt. He was freaking awesome. Come on, he was shot point blank in the chest, went and did an hour-and-a-half speech after he got shot, did not go to the hospital until afterwards, and they found out that not only that he the bullet not go past his overdeveloped pec muscle, but it had already cauterized, and all he needed to do was remove the pellet. And when asked why he didn't seek medical attention immediately afterwards, he said, in all honesty, the American people were looking forward to it, and he didn't want to disappoint, and he'd rather die with his boots on. That is a sentiment of true masculinity. The good type. The true good type. Thank you, Teddy. You were a wonderful president. But there hasn't been a good one since. Well, except for maybe Trump. You don't get to really judge a president until after they're done. You can't do it honestly anyway. So I'm waiting. After he's done, I'll make my judgment call. But so far, so good. So far, so good. So yeah, honestly, the government shutdown actually helped the debt. Helped the debt for about, what was it, 1% drop from dropping, increasing by 1% that year. That, you know how much that is? $1.8 billion. Actually, no, Christian, it was $18 billion, not 1.8. $18 billion, because in 2019 it was over a trillion. It was already being measured in trillions, right? It stopped the government spending of that much money of waste, of busy work, back and forth. No. Do I regret that? Do I think it was a bad thing? No, I think it was a good thing. Honestly, I think we should shut down the government more often. Let's have a weekly shutdown. A monthly shutdown. Every month, for 3 days, the government has to shut down. Doesn't have to be in a row, but for 3 days, the entire government has to shut down except for essential services like water, gas, garbage, if applicable. But all governmental, Congress systems and judicial systems have to shut down during these days. It will cut down on spending dramatically. Oh my goodness, it would be so nice. Save that moolah. Yes, save the moolah. Save the moolah. Save the moolah. Oh yeah, I'm getting a little too much there. Forgive me. I love the idea of the wall. Is it working? Actually, apparently it is. Yeah, it's not exactly a wall. I honestly really wanted wall with battlements and a full moat. Yes, I was one of the people who really wanted the alligators. I don't care. It sounded cool. But yeah, let's make it robot alligators. But yeah, it's feasible, much better working, and much more intelligent. So yeah, it's the smart way to do it. So yeah, number 56. Let's move on. 56. February 15, 2019 declared a national emergency concerning the southern border of the United States, a move that allowed him to shift funding from the Pentagon budget to help pay for the border wall. As of 2020, the sections of the wall have been built have cost U.S. taxpayers nearly $30 million. Mexico has not paid for the wall as Trump promised it would. But have you heard of tariffs? Tariffs? Yes, because what happens is that to get for American citizens to actually receive things over here that are from Mexico, there are now it's the tariffs. The tariffs, yes, are basically keeping the money within the American system. And because of that, Mexico has to lower their prices. That's how they're paying for it. It's hurting their bottom line. They no longer making a profit because they have to lower their price to be able to be competitive to the prices here in America. So yeah, they're paying for it in a roundabout fashion, and only if you actually understand how economics work. But you know, I literally only figured out economics listening to a single speech from a PE teacher explaining how economics is like a Snickers bar. And the way he has always loved to prank his students at the end of the year was signing their yearbook saying, economics is like a Snickers bar. Please tell me how. I never figured it out. Ain't that wonderful? It was wonderful. But you know, his teaching style was a Socratic method. He would put forward an idea, have them dissect it, and make them think it. And that's how he did it. And that's how I came to understand economics. I sat there and I dissected it, and then I was calmly told the joke. After I sat there and explained it. I never had that much of a laugh. I still laugh at it now. I love a good joke like that. But you know what? You know why it's a good joke? Because not only is it funny, but it also teaches you. Because it makes you think and understand a situation. How the Snickers bar is about economics. Well, each thing in the Snickers bar has to be processed by a different company. Did you know that? The chocolate is processed by a chocolate company. It's still made in-house inside the same group of companies, but it's in different building, different series of workers, different machines. And they also have the milk that comes from that. That comes from the dairy farmers, and the dairy farmers also have to pay to make sure they have enough grain for feed for the cows. So I'll go back to that point. Now we've addressed half of chocolate. Now we have to go to cocoa. The cocoa has to come from cocoa trees, and then it has their own grow in certain places in the world, and into any type of abundance. And those trees have to. Those cocoa has to be harvested certain ways and transported certain ways. So each of those things has to be supplied by different companies, different groups, different individuals, different employees. And each one of those things, you end up employing an entire corpus of people. It's exponentially downward for a single freaking candy bar. For each individual thing, from chocolate to nougat to the, what else? The peanut butter ones, personally, I prefer. The crackers that are inside, if the crackers one. And last but not least, the plastic wrapping and the paint on the plastic wrapping. Each one of those things exponentially downward and exponentially, I'm using it a word here, but fractionally separating downward into individual parts all the way down to the individual segment points. You end up with thousands upon thousands of jobs, actually probably millions, just to make Snicker bars. That's economics. The millions of people to make one thing. And ain't it wonderful? And since they all are working together, it becomes hugely efficient because each person gets to do one thing in each individual part. Oh, music stopped. Oops, sorry. Turn up the volume a little bit. At it! Oh! Remember, we want to get back to work here. Freaking clown here. Support your local clown. And that's a local clown. You know, rock and roll down. Oh, you know, one night stand. Sorry. I cut up in the song again. Let's get back to this. So yeah, $30 million have gone through the American tax system, through the taxpayers, to the wall. Because instead of going to Mexico into that, and it hurts Mexico's bottom line. And that's because of all those wonderful things that were originally made in Mexico, including Pepsi and Coca-Cola for the longest time, now all those individual exponential workers down that series, down the industrialization, no longer have work because they're getting paid less. And what if I just go to this job over here? Hey, wait a second. I see at a medical. Hey, senor, there's a medical over there. I can get immigrate legally and actually get a job over there and have you right. You know, the hourly pays. You know, with the minimum wage. That's what they call it over here. Eh? Yeah, that's what a Mexican friend of mine said after he immigrated here. He thought it was wonderful. Yeah, gotta love it. Said exactly like that. He thinks it's funny. I can copy his voice. But yeah, he brought in a worker, at least one, as a anecdotal story I can talk about. Came over to America, became an American citizen in the past couple of years. And says, yeah, God bless Donald Trump. He is 100% Republican, 100% Trumpist, populist. Yes, Trump is not a traditional Republican. He's a center-of-the-road centrist. He would have been a libertarian, but, the Libertarian Party, there's that meme from Tim Pool that posted. It's an old libertarian meme. The meme that shows a majestic fox on one side. Beautiful snow fox is shedding its brown coat from fall all the way to its winter coat, which is a white coat. It's a really pretty picture, and it says libertarian ideals. And then over here it shows a really badly abused, taxidermied fox, and it says libertarian candidates. That's what happens. That's the reason why Trump never ran libertarian, because there was no freaking way he'd win. So he decided, hey, let's play the game. And he did. And he played it. And he won. Because he knew the rules. He played by the rules. And won. The best way. Actual, literal way. Allie! I don't know. Anyway. How am I feeling that day? And they were dancing and singing and moving to the groove. And just when it hit me, somebody shouted out and play that funky music, wild boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, wild boy. Lay down that boogie and play that funky music till you die. Till you die? Yeah, till you die. Oh yeah, that's how economics works. So those of you who don't understand it, please calmly get off your high horses and please fix your annual cranial inversions. Thank you so much. Number 57, February 25th, 2019, falsely credited his daughter Ivanka for creating millions of jobs. In 2016, he had said that his children would have no role in the White House. Instead, Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner, were given large advisory portfolios.
People can change their minds, you know that when you have no one you can rely on, and you who can I rely on, and your daughter says, I'll do it. What you want me to do? So that's it. What would you do? Are you going to do this? Or would you have someone who knows is going to stab you in the back? Or are you going to say, your daughter, who honestly has some issues, but at least you know what her issues are.
You know, the devil you know, right? Kushner? I can leave him. But yeah, he's not horrible. Not great, either. So yeah, vacuous statement has no point. And Ivanka has created millions of jobs. Because if you go down the fractal line of economics, you end up with a situation with all the different people who actually work on all these different parts. Like the sand collectors who collect the sand to be, or the glass recyclers who harvest the glass to be able to make glass bottles for perfume. Let's use just one product Ivanka puts forward. All of her perfumes, the glass bottles. There's recycling. Because there's different grades of glass that most people don't understand that. So you have to use different types of sand. And if you actually just use pure mixed glass, you end up with an inferior glass that's nowhere near as tough and breaks quite easily. And when you're doing expensive perfumes, it's a very bad idea. So let's go on to that next point. So you have different glasses that can only be recycled from those glasses. And you can't get those recycled. You have to go back to harvesting the correct type of sand. And yes, it has to be the correct type of sand. This is a very fine type of sand, which honestly, nowadays is usually man-made. So you have all those jobs in that factory who takes regular sand and grinds the sand down in tumblers until it's a nice, smooth powder. Then they take the powder and take it to the glass makers. The glass makers make the bottles. Now it's much more industrialized, but there's still many of the specialty bottles that are made, handmade. These artisans are amazing. Freaking awesome. But yeah. Then you go with the paint. And people who make the paint. Then the company actually puts the paint on there. And it's exponential, people. Exponentially fractorial, downward spiral, downward outwards to the different people that work with those jobs. Any industry that has a major project creates more jobs because of that. It's a fractional nature of society. And if you can't understand that point, you really don't understand economics. Number 58, March 13th, 2019, Paul Manafort, Trump's 2016 campaign manager, was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison after being convicted of tax fraud, bank fraud, and failure to disclose a foreign bank account. Didn't he only spend 1 week in prison? Yeah, with Manafort, right? Yeah? Okay. How was that a point against Trump? He had bad advice? Guy went to jail. No longer advising. Number 59, March 24th, 2019, Attorney General William Barr released a misleading 4-page summary of a long-anticipated Mueller report. 3 days later, Mueller report wrote that Barr's summary did not fully capture the context, nature, and the substance of the office's work in collusion. Next. That is an opinion. That is an opinion of Robert Mueller's. And Mueller lied through his teeth, as I recently pointed out. Please go fact check me, please, fact check me. Prove me wrong. You can't. Why? Because I can actually come up with the evidence right away. There are videos of Mueller going on CNN, Fox News, every other news agency, from all the way from RT all the way to whatever local news station over in Washington, D.C. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. Going on each one of these shows, calmly telling the American people, I have seen evidence, and horrible Trump is guilty of treason and horrible things. Yet, why did he say that that evidence did not exist when under oath? Why? Why didn't he? No answers? Because Mueller did not want to go to jail for perjury. The entire report that Mueller put forward was an expose on the what's known as the Hillary for President DNC funded that fake dossier about that Trump was supposedly peeing on a bed in Russia that Obama had supposedly slept on and was doing with a bunch of hookers. And my response is, number one, that's a stupid story. No evidence. Any extraordinary claim has to have extraordinary evidence. And there, since Mueller refused to put forward evidence during his deposition in front of the Congress, he completely destroyed all of his credibility. Absolutely nothing. He lied to you. He lied to everyone. Mueller, you're lower than Snag. So yeah, Bill Barr did release a summary. That literally summarized the high points of the Mueller report. One, it was almost exclusively about the Stone dossier, I think it was called? The Stone dossier. No, not Rochester. No, that's not. What was it called? I can't remember. I kind of erased it from memory because it was so stupid. Come on, I can come up with something better within about 5 minutes. That sounds a little bit more plausible. Let's go with it. Something that's a plausible conspiracy that involves Trump. Okay, Trump is not actually the president. It's Melania. She is the one who is using Trump as a puppet. He has the ability to do all these things, but Melania has the real pants. She's the one really running things. How do you get yelled because she controls it, but she has a control, and she moves herself when Trump's talking, and she can control what he's saying on the teleprompter. That sounds far more logical than what they're saying. Why? Because there's actually a controller like that you can actually control in your pocket, in a purse, or even someplace quite less spoken about if you become skilled enough. So no. This conspiracy has no evidence and thus can be dismissed with no evidence.
Number 60 to 60.
April 24, 2019, recalled U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Mary Yovanovitch, out Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani and associate led to a smear campaign against her. So it was made that he would attack her while she testified before Congress. Mary Yovanovitch was bad-mouthing Trump to Ukraine president. She was insulting him behind his back to the president. How did Trump find out? The president, Ukrainian president, gave him told him so. Gave him the tapes. Ivanovich was a simple anti-Trump individual in government and grew to hate Trump campaign. So she tried to screw him up. Simple as that. That's all the evidence that points to it for that. There's nothing, no other. Why would he verbally attack her? She lied, and she lied in front of Congress. Because she stated her opinion instead of fact. Now you can have a factual opinion, or even stating your fact in Congress, but you should honestly categorize it as an opinion instead of a factual statement. Because you can actually be tried on perjury and lying to Congress, and even almost treason on certain cases by saying things like that. All right. Oh, number 60. 61, May 20th, 2019. Blocks former White House counsel and Robert Mueller key witnesses John McCain from testifying before Congress. One of numerous witnesses in the White House refused to let him testify. He did not refuse to let him testify. What he did was he extended the executive privilege. And the executive privilege simply means that they don't have to, even if they're subpoenaed. They are immune to go to the congressional subpoena to testify. Why? Because you don't want one government branch to be more powerful than the other government branches. So, it's a check and balance. Got it? So, go figure. Another vacuous statement. That's fake. Number 62, May 24, 2019. Circumvented Congress by declaring an emergency over Iran so he could sell arms to Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates. Do I like that he sells that? The fact that he sold these people? No. Do I think it was a good thing that he got rid of the surplus? Yes. Why? Because it was just gathering dust. And remember, there's also a tactical situation. You know how the guns break. If you know the flaws of a system that you're selling to someone, to your enemy, you know how to break it if they decide to turn it on you. It's called pre-sabotage. It's rather easy. So please, give me another reason why I need to vote for Trump.
Number 63, June 19, 2019, began pushing the aid to block military aid to Ukraine, an action that was carried out later and that the Government Accountability Office said broke law. This same day, he also falsely implied in a TV interview that Ukraine, not Russia, was somehow linked to the hacking of the DNC email during the 2016
campaign. The hackers were in Ukraine. That's where their main compound was, at least. At least the end of the road for their IP addresses. It could have been physically other places. You know, using a router and stuff like that. But they still would have had to be relatively physically close. That's in Ukraine. That was true. So, how was this accusation? Do I think Ukraine was is a good actor in the situation? No. Do I think Russia's a good actor in the situation? No. Do I think the US is a good actor in the situation? No. There's no good actor. US is just happens to be the least bad guy. And, you know, I kind of like it in the US. Keep all my stuff here. Number 64, June 28th, 2016, lauded Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and declined questions about the brutal killing of the Washington Post writer and legal U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi, whom the CIA concluded was the prince had ordered to be killed. He had a copy editor, people. This is horrible. Okay. 1. Politics. Someone who you're currently trying to work with, you don't pee in your cereal bowl. Please, Obama did far worse to far worse countries. So much so that by the time at the end of his presidency, when he went to China the last time, the President Xi did not even honor him with an ejected color guard. Obama got out of his plane and there was no one there. Not a red carpet. Nothing. With Trump, he's afraid of him. As I like to say, he's not a good person, but he's a bully among bullies. And he's our bully. So, about Jamal Khashoggi, that's screwed up. I really think he should not have been killed. But he was not a was not a U.S. citizen, and his residency was tenuous at best. But yeah, I'm completely against how he was killed and why he was killed, and I really want more investigation about it. But it was also in an embassy. He was messed up, and I think it was wrong. Do I want more of an investigation? Yes. Do I want them to find out the individual thing on it? If it goes up to the prince, yes, absolutely. But it's a different country, and my sense of justice can only exist inside of a justice system that matches my sense of justice. That's the United States. It's a different country, people. It's wrong. I despise it. Thus, I would not. If I found stuff like that while I was president, I could confirm it. I would pull out. Not let them have one more drop until they gave me satisfaction, including in a public apology from the prince. Why that? Because the Arabian people, especially Islamic people, hold high the idea of apologies publicly. You get them to publicly apologize is a big thing, a big concession against their pride. And you can do, and that's what I would have done. That's the highest. That's the only thing I would be better than that is, have them executed in their culture. That's literally it. So yeah, I would ask him to be publicly apologize, not in sackcloth, not in any. But as a leader, saying apologize, it was my fault because of my inaction or because of my action. But Trump didn't do that because he was selling guns to them. Good situation? No. Bad situation? Yeah. Got the best out of it? No. Cost too many lives? Absolutely. That's the reason why I'm backing Trump right now about getting people out of the Middle East. This is another point for the Democrats. You got another point. Congratulations.
Number 65, June 65, June 28th to 29th, 2019.
Asked Chinese Jinping
To help him get re-elected, according to then National Security Advisor John Bolton's later account during the G20 summit, suddenly turned conversation to becoming U.S. presidential election, alluding to China's economic ability to affect the ongoing campaigns, leading to ensure he'd win. He stressed the importance of farmers and increase the Chinese purchases of soybeans, wheat to the electoral outcome. Bolton also reported that Trump told Xi that he supports his building of concentration camps that hold estimated 1 million Uyghurs.
Bolton is a liar. Bolton is a liar.
He is not a
Let's horse it.
shoots.
Should be. I'm getting closer then. When you keep using the same sources that I have debunked as unreliable and have been proven to be unreliable in a public setting on CNN, sorry, you hold no water. Yeah, the idea of a broken clock being right twice a day, it doesn't mean it's going to be right.
July 14, 2019, said the trio of freshman minority Democrat congressmen, why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken, crime-infested places which would they come from?
All of them are American citizens. He was talking about New York, the Bronx, Chicago, the places where they represent. Actually, even Somalia would be a good place for, Omar, because I think she's scum. Yeah, you don't even rate being a being snake, Omar. Just don't. You're anti-Semitic, you're racist against literally everyone. And what was it? Islam supremacist. Yeah. You called me that. Because it's true. And we all can see it. Keep it up, honey. You keep digging your own grave. Am I going to be there to try to stop you? No. Go for it, man. Ride it hard. So, yeah. I don't like the squad. They outright lie. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently said all these violence in New York City is maybe they're hungry because of the economic problem. Maybe they're out there going for bread. Yes, the gentleman who walked down the street and murdered the father of a 4-year-old right in front of her was looking for bread. You're the Marie Antoinette of our time period. You know that what it does? Let them eat cake. Let them have bread. Why can't they have bread? You insufferable idiot. You would not understand that food has to be, the sources of the food, the beginning elements have to be processed and then put together and then packaged and then shipped to your local store? Or do you honestly think the grocery store just magically makes them appear? Again, I actually really believe that about AOC. Why do I say this? Pickman, David Packman, I lovingly call Pickman, because he has his little top of his head goes to a freaking point. Tom Williams pointed out a picture a couple of months ago who honestly could not understand what farmlands look like. He was, for the first time, he was flying over middle America. It is a beautiful sight. Farmland as far as the eye can see. It looks like a patchwork quilt, in all honesty. It's one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in the history of my life. And I encourage anyone to take a simple hop across those areas, especially during the fall time, and take a look. It is a heart-wrenching sight to see those amber waves of grain. It's beautiful. Beautiful beyond belief. And Pickman didn't know what it was. You are wealthy elitists in cities and do not understand the rural population of this country. And because of your elitist beliefs, you are the bourgeoisie, the bourgeois, as the Chinese call it. You honestly are basically white supremacists with a guilty conscience. So pardon me, I honestly don't give a crap about your opinions, because you honestly don't understand the basic economics, basics of farming, basics of how the country works. So your fundamental understanding is just wrong. And when you finally understand that, that's the reason why the saying goes, you know, when you're young, you're not leftist, you have no heart. When you're old, you're not conservative, you have no brain. Because as you get older, you start understanding more, understanding how the world works. At least that's how it's supposed to be. But now there are echo chambers all around, not letting people learn. And actively discouraging discussion. And it's actually quite disgusting. Number 67. Attacked Special Counsel Robert Mueller on the eve of a testimony. Really? He attacked him? It was like a rabies attack? No. He criticized Robert Mueller for being a lying scumbag because he had already testified in a closed session and testified that he had no such evidence, that he had alluded to the entire populace of the United States, that he had no point for the Russia probe from the beginning. It was all based on lies, misinformation, and basically a fiction book. The Steele Dossier. That was it's called. 68, July 25th, 2019, asked Ukrainian President Zelensky to investigate Democratic President Joe Biden's the action that led to President Trump's impeachment by the House of Representatives in December 2019 and trial Senate January and February 2020. Okay. He wanted him to look into Biden's son. Here's the horrible thing. Trump was right. Biden's son walked away with 1.8, well, confirmed, walked away with $1.8 billion. With that deal from doing nothing. You understand? He literally had no understanding of an energy company, on how energy worked, how energy is produced, and why you have to have certain things, why certain engines have any situation. But no, he had no experience with that, and suddenly he was appointed to this board. And what happened? he was given a yearly salary that added up to $1.8 billion. Where did that money go? So, he was also found, all the findings and complaints against Trump were found inaccurate. 69. Nice. August 20th, 2019 said that the Jewish Americans who vote for Democrats are guilty of either lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. That's an opinion. And every citizen in the United States has their opinions. As my grandfather liked to say, opinions are like rectums. Everyone has one. Most of them sink, and periodically every single one of them is full of crap. So, ladies and gentlemen, explain to me how Satan's opinion is wrong. That is an opinion on the stance against Israel, actually. And this was about the two-state policy, which the Palestinians refuse to ever abide by. Why? Because they're being led by Hamas, not by any other group. Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, which regularly bombs hospitals, children's, and use hospitals and children's as their base, children's schools as their bases to be able to launch their terroristic attacks against Israel. This is fact. You want me to side with those people? No. They're bad people in all standards of the word. I don't care. So in that situation, I agree with him. Either lack of knowledge, which is honestly a really charitable way of saying it, always follow Paul's law, always assume stupidity before malice. But once you have enough, they do enough things that are quite stupid, you can quite easily assume malice. Because these people are either stupidly stupid or honestly dangerously stupid. That's like the difference between a foolish person hurting other people because they don't understand how certain things work, and giving them a car. That's quite deadly. 70. August to September 2009 invited Taliban to Camp David. Yeah, I thought it was a bad move, but he always thought trying to do peace talks with the remaining groups. And I'm always for less killing. That's a personal thing there. I want less people to die every single day. All day, every day. So pardon me while I say, take care. 71, cancel September 2019, cancel GOP presidential caucus and primaries in 4 states. Okay. There were several reasons, including voter fraud, individuals not being able to get there, and major issues with the actual politicians in the area. You know, there's a group called Never Trumpers. They're basically Democrats that are, wearing the R. Why would I want to be in a party with people who actually hate me? No thanks. 72, September 4th, 2019, displayed an unofficial National Weather Service map in the Oval Office that was falsified with a Sharpie to make it seem as if government forecasters had during the previous week projected that the Hurricane Dorian might strike Alabama as he had erroneously claimed. Okay. The original projection actually had Alabama within its cone of movement. Go back and look at the history of it at the original release of the information. It was well within its range of movement. So no, that's not false. The Sharpie thing, no, I don't know, don't care. But the thing is, I honestly think it was done specifically to troll the news. Why? Because they literally have been grasping at straws for so long, he decided to throw them a bone. And they fell for it. It's like a cat following a laser pointer. It's literally what became a meme. Honestly, there's a meme of a GIF with Trump standing in front of that sign, that weather forecast map, and it has a cat following a laser pointer all over the screen. And the cat is CNN. Go figure, right? So yeah, he trolled you. Why should I consider that a bad thing? I'm a clown. Number 73, October 1st, 2019. The reports surfaced that Trump had suggested soldiers shoot migrants illegally crossing the United States. He reportedly also inquired about
putting a water-filled trench stocked with snakes and alligators at the border, pumping aids to seek a cost estimate. Meanin is a performer. He is a jokester. He is a trickster. He is an ask me no more questions, tell me more no lies, and you understand why it was a joke. And everyone takes jokes too seriously nowadays. Oh, number 74, October 23rd, 2019, described never Trump Republicans as human scum. Again, opinion. Not anything else. 75, claimed that he had predicted Osama bin Laden's 9/11 attack. He actually had. You can go look that up. There's a video of him saying that there is going to be an attack on American soil. He said that after the 1999 bombing. It was 1999, yeah? Yeah, I think it was 99 bombing of the World Trade Center's basement by the same group, by Osama bin Laden and his Al-Qaeda group. Number 76, November 2019, intervened in the case of Chief Petty Officer Eddie Gower following the trial of war crimes. Upon Trump's order, Gower's demotion was undone and he was allowed to keep his Navy SEAL trident insignia, which he was about to be stripped of. Navy Secretary Richard Spencer was fired for opposing the president's intervention. Okay, Robert Eddie Gower was that was a convoluted thing. Really scrupulous to things, and yeah. What? Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna do like 2 more, and I'll be right there. Yeah, I'll meet you right over there. I'll be real quick. This next one should be real simple. I have no opinion about number 76. It's really neither a point nor a disappoint. Number 77, November 7, 2019, ordered to pay $2 million in damage to settle claims bought by the New York State government that Trump Foundation had misused funds. The foundation was already being dissolved because of what New York officials called a shocking pattern of illegality, including unlawful coordination with the Trump presidential campaign, repeatedly bullying, self-dealing, and much more. Much of the story was first unearthed by Washington Post reporter David. Okay. Personal things. Okay. That was number 9 failing. I said he succeeded 10 times, people. 78, Spirit Alexander Vidman, a U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel detailed in National Security Council after Vidman's testified in the House impeachment. Yeah, Vidman was a jerk. He decided to show off in front of everyone in the council, and when he went to testify, wearing his uniform when you don't actually have to, and insisted being called by rank. Later, Andy. And he insisted that he be called by his rank and by his title, and that's literally just like standing on a soapbox saying, "Respect me. I am your superior." Sorry, the guy was a jerk, and not a particularly efficient one. Only jerks that I deal with are the ones who actually get the job done. So that's going to end it for the day. Actually, one more second. We're going to end that. Number 78, November 19, 2019, Spirit Alexander. Oh, yeah, that was Vidman. 79, February 7, 2020, and fired impeachment witnesses. Letters calling Alexander Vidman, an ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. Okay. Vidman had been doing a bad job. He was an analyst. He was did horrible at a job. He kept reporting false positives and kept reporting false negatives. Either he was colluding or he was just an idiot. I side with him being an idiot, considering that he was inept at keeping his secrets. So, pardon me while I go. Yeah. 80, February 20th, 2020. Longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone was sentenced to more than 3 years in prison after his conviction on the 7 felony charges, including lying under oath to Congress, obstructing the investigation into 2016 election. 1. That investigation to that is included in the Obamagate investigation, into investigating Barack Hussein Obama for all the misdealings that are continuously going on right now. And I literally shouldn't say anything else because I actually know too much about that.
But to say the least, I think Stone's going to get pardoned, or at least his charges rescinded and his conviction reversed, because the principle, the fruit of the poisonous tree, simply put, the entire investigation was illegal. And once that's put forward and goes through the courts, eventually I think it will be overturned. Do I think he relied under oath? Not really. I think he's safe in opinions that aren't, as I said, are not exactly lies. Anyone, February 26, 2020 said within a couple of days the number of COVID cases in the United States were that there were then 15 confirmed cases was going to go down close to zero. Okay. Now we're going to the pandemic. When you're dealing with a crisis, what do? You do not, as in leadership, you never tell everyone all the facts, especially if the facts are all bad. Why? You will get people not being able to do their job. You will end up destroying your line of chain of command. You will no longer be able to get any job done. You will be screwing yourself over hardcore in ways that I cannot even begin to describe. You destroy morale, destroy your ability to do anything. Next, you also destroy, and the United States as a governmental position, you end up screwing up the economy. Things that Trump he says one single tweet, it gets really causes the stock market go 500 points or drop 500 points. That's insane in and of itself. So, yeah, he didn't want people to panic. He didn't want the entire economy and country to go crashing down too quickly. He wanted to mitigate the problems as much as possible. So, yeah, that is what's referred to as a noble lie. It's like the situation in the shooting down in Florida. The individual teacher who stopped the shooter by lying to the shooter that the children were not there. So, yeah. Okay, number 82 is another opinion. Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus, and this is their new hoax. The fear over the virus is their new hoax, as I've said before, about different things, including how the virus transmits and how things go about. Because of the politicization of the virus, it ends up screwing over all the people. Getting ready to go. Alright then. So that's going to be ended right now. I'm going to try to finish that sometime this week, or I will finish it Friday. And then I will move on to the 300 reasons to vote for Trump. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for paying attention. I know no one's really paying attention right now. One of those who come back, watch this, thank you very much. I thank you for paying attention, listening to my rambling to the stupid, silly clown. And I hope you had fun. God bless. Ayo con Dios. Viva Christos. Always.